Yeah, so D is domain. R, what does R mean? R means range. So in math we have a domain and a range. Your input is domain, your output is range. What do you think this I means? Input. Yeah, there we go. What do you think the O means? Output. Uh-oh. What is the, I don't think we know this, the X. The X is the X value. And so the Y will be the Y value. Say again? Yeah, input. The last two right here, so the X, the domain, the input, the X value is also called your, it's also called independent variable. It's the independent variable. The D over here, the Y, your range, your output, your Y value is called your dependent variable, right? It depends on something else. Essentially, it's going to be your X. All right. So all of these mean your X. All of these mean your Y. All right. Let's see if we can get through this next part. This function notation. So function notation right here. Notice the difference. What happened from here to here? What changed? From this one to this one, what changed? The output or the variable. Yeah, so the output and the input kind of changed. This part right here, this f of x, f of a, if you kind of keep going, f of x, f of heart, f of x, f of 3, that is your input. All of those are inputs. So every single one of those are inputs. Inputs. Those are your inputs. This part over here, this, what do you think that has to be then?
Output.
That has to be your output. I'll go ahead and circle every one of the outputs. Yeah, those right there are your outputs. Now, the question I want to ask is, what happened from here, from this one, to this one? I think Justin already said it. The variables changed, right? Notice, what was our variable for the top one? X. Now, what's our variable here? A. Are we okay with that? Thank you, Justin. For right here, what is our input here? Our X. We're inputting X, right? What is our input here? A heart. Yeah, it's a heart, right? Notice wherever the X was, what do we put in place of the X? A heart. All right. Now the last one is more like what we're going to see a lot more of when we start evaluating. So notice we have X, right? All the X's. What do we put in place of X? Well, a 3. So we put a 3 in. Okay, we put a 3 in. Does that make sense? Okay. So we put a 3 in for that. So if we notice when we come down here, we have our input, we have our output. Okay, this is called function notation. F is the name of the function. Whatever's inside the parentheses tells you the X is the input. So whatever we put in there is the input. And then we're going to plug in that X or whatever is inside that parenthesis into the equation, and that's going to give us our output. So we need to just practice plugging that in and kind of looking at it. So for 30 seconds, that's what we're going to do. So this first one, right? I'm going to help you out with this first one. So this says Y, then we're going to put parentheses around it, equals 5x plus 7. All right? What do y'all think is going to go inside the parentheses here? The X, right? Yeah, because that's what's there. That's the variable. So it's going to be Y. How we say it is Y of X equals 5x plus 7. All right, that's how we say it. It's our timer. We're gonna finish out B and C, and then we'll be done. All right. So for B, well, we're gonna write down our letter there first, which is G. Put parentheses around it, or beside it, and it's gonna be 8H minus 2. All right, y'all are smart individuals. What's gonna go inside the parentheses here? The H. Good. Yeah, the H. Great job. Great job. All right. Oh, C. Yeah. So C, I want y'all to try that on your own for a second. Okay. So let me pause this right here. I'm gonna give y'all 10 seconds to kind of do this. Okay. 10 seconds. I'm gonna do it as well, and then I'll post the answer. Do the same thing you just did on the other two. Okay, same thing you just did on the other two. Well, about 5 seconds here. Link, you got it? We're about to find out. 3, 2, 1. The answer is. Did y'all get that? No? You were confused about it? I got you. What confused you about it?
There were no parentheses.
There were, yeah. Well, notice in the first two we did, Adam, right? Were there parentheses for this one?
Yeah.
You see no. So when we rewrite this, we use that Y right there, okay? Put parentheses beside it. See, notice I put parentheses beside it. What I originally wrote was Y, and then, because that's our function is Y. We put parentheses around it equals our output, 5x plus 7. Then we figure out, okay, what is our input? It's going to be that x, right? So that's why we put an x there. You okay with that? Yeah. Now you look at the next one, right? We had G. G equals 8h minus 2. Well, G is our function. So what do we need to put around the G, or next to the G? Well, we put G and then parentheses, right? 8h minus 2, and then what do we put inside the parentheses? The H. Good job. Good job. We look at the last one here, right? B is our function, right? So when we write it, we put B and then parentheses minus 4D, or negative 4D, and then what goes inside the parentheses? Our variable, which is D. Does that make a little bit more sense? It does? Good, good, good. Any questions right there? Any questions on that? Marquil. So you did B equals parentheses what? B?
I mean
D? You're good. Minus 4. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, we have serious malfunctions going on right now. This isn't going to be good for our followers. All right, so again, Markel, follow that form, okay? Follow the structure there. So if it says, y equals 2x, right? If it says y equals 2x, correct? Well, what's our function there, Markel? It is y, right? So what do I put next to the y? Parentheses, and then I just bring everything else down. The equals 2x. Equals 2x. What goes inside the parentheses? What's the variable that we're inputting? The x. Yeah, so it'd be y of x. Y parentheses x equals 2x. Okay? We'll try to look at a few more of those in the next couple videos. Sound good? All right.
Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, and turn on post notifications as well. Bye.